and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hamilton Southeastern High School as we bring you boys high school lacrosse here on IndianaSRN. A battle of two state champions ready to do the battle here today, including Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School off to an 0-2 start, but they're the 2A state champions out of the state of Missouri, and they are located again in St. Louis. Hamilton Southeastern off to a 7-0 start. They are the defending 2A state champions here in the state of Indiana. Tonight's action brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is the leading equipment dealer since 1955. Boilermaker Local 374, representing highly skilled and motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication in Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Burtner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group, they're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Piper Logistics, your trusted logistics partner since 1994. Aspen Creek Grill, why go anywhere else? They have the largest selection of great food made from scratch and very affordable. Highway Safety Services, over 60 years combined experience in traffic control and pavement markings in Indiana. And the IndianaSRN sports page. Follow the sports page daily, updated news from coast to coast. Log on to IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. Troy Nargowski, Tony Donahue with you in a battle of two teams that know about winning. There's no doubt about that. Should be a fun one here today.
Yeah, there's a lot of high school action throughout the state of Indiana today, but there's no better matchup than what we're about to watch here on the lacrosse field from HSE. As you mentioned, winning traditions. This is an HSE team that knows all about getting and winning the state championship. On the other side as well, the drive over from Missouri, you get to play some competition that's similar to your level, and it really sets yourself up. You know, we talk about this in basketball too, Troy. Some of the non-conference games that really set you up for the tournament, really set you up for the playoffs. This is one of those matchups here where you have two teams that are very similar size-wise, as we were talking about earlier this morning. And you're going to have to match size and size, speed and speed, accuracy and accuracy. We've got two of the best high school programs really in the country here today.
Let's talk about this Rams team. 8 starters back from their 2A championship last year. They've won 9 out of 10 state titles under head coach Andy Kay. They have 7 D1 players that will again go to the next level. And I know they're off to an 0-2 start. They ended up losing to Montgomery Bell out of Missouri 14-5. They make the trip here to Indianapolis. They lose to Cathedral 9-7. Don't let that 0-2 record fool you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you talk about Boston College, you talk about Denver University, you talk about some major programs that are going to be represented here by the Rams coming up in D1 over the next couple of seasons. Oh yeah, 0-2. Throw that out, right? Yeah. You haven't slept in your bed in a couple days. You've been here in Indiana. You've been playing competition. I believe they played Cathedral earlier on in the week. But, yeah, absolutely throw out the record. This is going to be a battle to the end here this afternoon.
They have 4 all-state players returning, including maybe one of the best in Ian Spakowski, a guy that's a left-hander, wears number 50. The word is keep an eye on him because he is lethal.
Yeah, especially from the left-handed position, right? The ball just comes out a little bit different. It lands a little bit different, a little bit more what I call English on it, right? Kind of skips off the turf, maybe a little bit different, but he's certainly going to be in the middle of the action here today, and he's going to be a player that not only can score but set up his teammates throughout this contest.
And by the way, they have an All-American to defenseman, Henry Oliver, not only All-American but All-State, so keep an eye on him. He will certainly be a force on defense. And, of course, with Hamilton Southeastern, they are off to a great start, 7-0. They go to Michigan. They win 2 games there. And while we're thinking about it, we're going to take a quick time out. We're going to come back, talk more about the Royals next here on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern, Troy Narragowski, Tony Donahue. We're talking a little bit about this Hamilton Southeastern team off to a 7-0 start. They again go to Michigan. They beat East Grand Rapids 12-10. They beat Forest Hills 23-1. They got out in front of that one 19-0, and then they turn around and beat Guerin on their return trip. And the one thing when you talk to Coach Beasley is they want to get off to a fast start, and that's something they have done all year long.
Yeah, you mentioned get out in front. That's getting out in front on the scoreboard, getting out in front, leading your teammate to the spot he needs to be there, getting to the crease, getting in front of that net, seeing what happens, right? Good things happen when you get in front of the net from a close distance. You have a more high percentage shot to find the back of the net. I expect this to be, into the teens. I think scoring-wise, yeah, it's going to be a physical game defensively, but both of these teams are fast, they're physical, and they get up and down the field. Look for a lot of scoring here, but as you mentioned, and Coach Beasley mentioned this as well, matching their size, matching their physicality, defensive-wise, just getting up, making your defender uncomfortable, getting in their space, and again, leading your teammate, as you mentioned, into the right spot, finding your teammate at the right time, and then getting out ahead on the scoreboard. Certainly keys here, especially early in this one, in a game where both teams very experienced. They know how to win. This is state championship quality lacrosse we're about to watch here.
So the Rams will be in their traveling maroon uniforms, and Hamilton Southeastern in their home whites. And, of course, we know the face-offs will be huge in this one here today. And Hamilton Southeastern generally wins most of their face-offs, and they will open up an offense. And one thing that Coach Beasley talked about, again, they're going to run in 3 gears here today as that ball is going to be stripped away and turned over.
Yeah, turnovers right here between the 40s really is – they get it right back. And then on the run. But, yeah, in between the 40s can really flip the position to get back defensively. You don't want to be back on your feet, backpedaling, and just goes wide there of the net. But got there, did not go quite – you want to kind of move towards the crease area right in front of that goal. Just missed the angle. But, yeah, A-plus quality matchup here this afternoon. We got the A-team, Ben and Chuck are here, me and you. I mean, where else would you rather be?
Tell you what, Jenkins – had that one taken away. That'll be the second turnover by HSE. Jenkins has played well this year. You look at the numbers he has put up at 22 goals and 7 assists. Of course, Max Kemp leading the way for HSE with 28 goals and 13 assists. He's averaging nearly 6 points per contest. And, of course, David Gold continues to be one of the top players not only in the state but around this region. 24 goals, 29 assists for 53 points. Coming in. Now, Luke Williams, what a season he has had so far. His save percentage, Tony, right now at just over 70%. This young man in goal has just been phenomenal so far for HSE.
Yeah, that's gonna win you a lot of games. That's gonna win you late into April and May and set yourself up for another state championship run at 70%. I mean, that's absolutely huge. The average is right around 55, 60. So kind of shows you how great of a season, as you mentioned, he's having.
Well, we mentioned keep an eye on this offense course. We were watching a little bit in warm-ups, and this is a team the Ram team that can really score quickly, much like what we've seen with HSC. And the first shot and the goal, and guess who? It's going to be Ian Spakowski on the board, and you can see that from the left side.
Yeah, Spakowski there, a great setup from his teammate Bishop. Bishop finds him and just aggressive, fires a missile in there and finds the back of the net for the first scoring of the afternoon.
Taking a look at it right here, and we're talking about this one just inside that 12-meter, so he's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's accurate, that's fast, that's hard to defend. And by the time you look up, it's already over your top shoulder. Gets it in off the top side of the net for the first score here for the Rams.
That one led, of course, with a turnover as the face-off won there by the Rams. So
yeah, O'Leary on the face-off win there and checks right back out. He's in there for one reason and one reason only. Does his job, gets the high five, and set yourself up again for the next one.
Well, it gives you a pretty good idea of how important that face-off is. Could mean more possessions each and every game. As you take a look at Gachewski, Mikey Gachewski wearing number 5. He'll be a name we'll call a lot tonight along with Spakowski.
Yeah, Graham Toner there on the defense. You see right here, he's getting physical. He's getting up into the grill of Spakowski there and knows we got to make him uncomfortable because he was a little bit too comfortable on that last shot that he fired that found the back of the net.
So far, each team winning a face-off, an early 1-0 lead again for the Rams. Again, out of the St. Louis area, and they'll attack inside, and a backhand shot. They're going to wave it off. I think he was in the crease.
Yeah, he just got it a little bit too deep on that angle. Found the backhand, went through the contact, found the back of the net, but again, take it off the scoreboard here, and now Hamilton Southeastern with really their first possession here in this first half, where they're going to be able to set themselves up inside of the 30 on the football field.
Of course, this young man right here, David Gould, will be counted on big here today, along with Max Kemp. Almost turned it over at midfield moments ago. Graham Toner able to get it back, and we'll set it up here. And this is one thing that Coach Beasley talked about, too. If we can't score lightning quick, we have 3 different speeds.
Yeah.
And they're very apt to work it in the half here and just try to get yourself a goal.
Yeah, and working it through Gold right here in the backside to set yourself up for that strike right there. You want to work the backside to Gold and then swing it Einen with the fire, and we're tied up at 1.
So that'll come at 8:14 as Lau will get on the board here for HSC, and you saw the fact right there.
Yep, Max Lau with this 18th goal. Pretty impressive this season for a freshman.
Boy, he has done an excellent job coming in. Talk about the 17-5 and 22 points. The 4th leading scorer, but now make it 18 on the season. So we're tied at 1 at 8:14 remaining. He wins the face-off here. Well, that ball kicked, I believe, by Nick Weber. And we're going to head toward the sideline ball as O'Rourke saves it. Unfortunately, the Rams will pick it up.
Yeah, and we talked about size, matching size. You saw there O'Rourke going to the skies and just out-jumping the defender to snag that ball.
Today's game brought to you in part by Reynolds Farm Equipment, the leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in the state of Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give them a call, 317-849-0810. And just like that, Spakowski
with his second. And just the speed. You saw the speed and the size there. Blows by the defender. As you see right here, gets the angle last second, throws it off the goalie's face mask there, and the speed goes in, and the Rams back up top 2-1. And, we talked about this in the outset, Troy. This is a game where we could see goals get traded and go back and forth all afternoon.
Yeah, what was different about that one, Tony, is he wasn't on the right side. He was actually off the left side shooting left, and he might be a little stronger there for sure.
Yeah, you get the whole body behind it. A nice job here by HSC taking the possession and running with it on the run, showing some speed.
And the low shot just wide to the left by David Gold.
Yeah, Gold, I like the aggression off that second pass, off of the win at midfield. Just threw it a bit wide.
2-1 Rams lead it. HSC again on the attack, and they're very good.
Turnover.
In the critical scoring area, but again, that's going to be their third turnover already.
Yeah, Peterson scoops it up, takes the contact, gets out of harm's way, and they're going to throw it away here. So they'll turn it right back over, back and forth we go. And we talked about how big of a game this is. I mean, in front of us, we've got the Cathedral players that are watching. Obviously, they'll play HSC later on in the season. The Rams coming over from Missouri, the St. Louis area, played Cathedral early in the week, so they're getting a little scout on who they've played and what they expect to see coming up when they take on HSC in a couple weeks.
By the way, that last turnover, thanks to a great stick check. Low shot and the score by Henry Wands.
Yeah, Wands had it on a great setup. It was one-on-one with the goalie. A slight hesitation, fires it low, and we're tied back up at 2.
You mentioned earlier we may see both these teams get in the teens in scoring here today. This is off to a fast start.
Yeah, and a great job there by Wands. As mentioned, a little bit of a hesitation, threw the goalie off. Fire that thing low. It's hard to find where it is when it's going that fast, and it finds the back of the net before you know it.
Wands his 14th goal of the season. He is 5th in scoring for HSE, so Lau and Wands stepping up. And the face-off won by the Rams. They now have a 3-2 edge. And we've got a timeout. 6:39 remaining, opening period. We're tied at 2.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
Today's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. They're in business to create a better future for you, for your family, and for the community we share. We can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for your company. Give them a call, 317-472-7600. We are off to a fast start. We have now seen 4 total goals, Tony, and we've only played not even a total of 6 minutes so far.
Yeah, and we talk about momentum in all high school sports. Neither team really been able to snag it. We thought the Rams would have it early, but Hamilton Southeastern's been able to match everything that the Rams have thrown at them here early in this one. And on top of that, playing in close games, these two teams, they're used to blowing out their opponents. So how do you adjust and how do you play in a close game that could come down to the wire here?
Played behind the cage will go outside the 12-meter. This will be Luke Coleman. Coleman thought about the 12-meter shot there, got backed away.
Got a flag down. Mingus misses it.
Yeah, this will be Mingus here to the near side as, again, with that flag down, will continue to play. As we made it under the 6-minute mark, Mingus looking to the inside, ball loose, and it's going to stay here because of the penalty.
Yeah, but a great job there by Jack Fisher getting in there, disrupting. When you come from behind the goal like that, you're looking to get to the front of the goal, and a defender coming downhill for that quick pop and put in.
It'll be on Graham Toner, by the way, so now Rams will be up a man here, and that means that you'll see HSC have to play a little zone. It's a tough position to be in. Let's see how the Rams will take advantage of this one.
See if they can fight this off here.
As they work behind the cage. That's a rip big time right there by Spakowski, and already he has the hat trick.
Yeah, the hat trick early here in this one. He's got all 3 goals. Just the force behind his shot. I mean, you look at right here. I mean, this is from deep, and he just throws that as hard as he can. And to be able to throw it that fast with that accuracy, you see why he's a D1 recruit with his 3rd goal here. Early on in this one, still 5:33 to play in the first.
So he is showing why he is an all-state player, and again with already 3 goals early. And the face-off won early 4-2 now. As the Rams leading in that category right now, HSC, those 3 turnovers. One of those, of course, led to a goal by Spakowski at 7:36, and now some changes being made as we are even strength once again.
Yeah, Bishop will swing it here, let the subs come in, and, you talk about back and forth in this one. Every time the Rams have scored, Hamilton Southeastern here with the great turnover. And now they're off to the races. As I was just saying, right on cue, HSC has had an answer every time that the Rams have been able to put one up on the board.
Gold.
And the answer right back. They go distance, and Gold with the goal underneath for his 2nd, the skipper off the turf.
Well, it shows you right there, Tony, no matter what sport it is, those turnovers can be costly.
Turnovers will always kill you in any sport.
He went low and low on that one.
Nice little skipper off the turf. Gets it in there, and right on cue.
Well, we're just going back and forth,
yeah,
huh?
Right on cue. They've had an answer. They've had an answer here early. They tie it up at 3, and we're well on our way to the team that maybe has the ball, the possession on the last in the last quarter there. Who has the last possession might have a chance to win it. We're well on our way to 15 goals apiece.
There's no doubt that's one of the keys that Coach Beasley talked about, is playing fast and getting out of the gate quick, as that was a penalty against the Rams. So now here come the Royals once again. That is Jenkins. Jenkins left hand. That's going to be a ricochet.
Man, it looked like that was deflected defensively there. Nice job by Peyton Simon, getting that big stick in the air. You see him out there, big number 99, with the deflection.
David Gould will control it here on the near side. And again, this is where they can be lethal as well. They like to work behind the cage if they can, and then roll guys down the middle, and that's going to be shot by Jenkins, and that may have went off the hip.
Yeah, they went off the back of Simon.
Oh.
Another defensive stop by Simon, though. Sometimes you take them off the back. But HSC still in business here.
I can imagine how that feels out front. Wands can't get it to go. Wands will pick it up, gets inside the 8-meter, takes a lot of contact right there, and a whistle. And we've got a timeout. 3:47 remaining. We're tied at 3.
We're not here to just sell you another piece of software. We're here to helping you procure the licensing, manage and monitor those licenses over time.
Collaboration is very key when working with our clients. We are very much a partnering organization. We definitely work as a team to deliver solutions for our customers.
We're here to build relationships with customers, which is unique.
Hi, I'm Grayson, and our parents work in road construction. Every day they head out to make our roads safer and better for you. But did you know work zone deaths have increased 63% since 2010?
Wow, that's a lot. Please slow down and pay attention when you see all those orange signs. When you do, you're helping to keep our parents and everyone who works on the roads safe. Thanks for looking out for us.
This message is brought to you by your friends at Highway Safety Services. Stay safe, stay alert.
Today's game brought to you in part by Boilermaker Local 374. They represent highly skilled and motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication in the state of Indiana. When you need a safe, dependable workforce, you can count on Boilermaker Local 374. And Tony, we've already seen here not just 6 goals scored, but we have seen some shots that are absolutely flying out of those nets.
Yeah, when we talked about that these are two teams with a history and they're going to continue that history of getting to and winning state championships, you see why. The accuracy of the passing to set up your teammates here early and then getting inside of that crease area. We've seen both teams go high to the net. We've both seen him skip off the ground here, and right there, that's the second time for Gold. He's got 2 on the afternoon. That's the second time he's been right there and just thrown it a little bit too wide. So if he can get that shot down, that'll be huge. But HSC here keeps the possession, a little second chance opportunity.
Yeah, David rarely misses the goal that wide. He's generally right on the mark. This is going to be Turner Berry, who's in the lineup. He wears number 2 for HSC, a junior midi. Once again, HSC behind the cage, and David Gold sidesteps the defender. Low shot, and nice job there by Tommy Cook.
Yeah, I liked the setup there from Gold. A little hesitation, throw the timing off, try to skip it through, but I think it was deflected after the skip, and that thing went sky high. But another opportunity here. HSC starting to live in the offensive side of the field here. We'll see if they can snag their first lead of the afternoon with the goal on this possession.
Off the attack, Henry Wands has a goal here today. And that shot's going to be blocked by Cook, and then the return picked up by Cook as well. Lead pass will head the other way.
Yeah, we talk about leading, right, which is what the Rams have been able to do. The lead pass after the block there, and a great job by the goalie to get up, goaltender to lead your teammate, and now all of a sudden, just like that, possession flipped.
We saw Jake Cuxhausen at the other end there for HSC getting that shot on goal against Tommy Cook, as we are coming up on 2 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. And it has been action-packed already. Rams have won 4 face-offs, 3 by HSC, which they're generally never behind in the face-offs 1 department. And once again, we'll see the Rams working it behind the cage. They stay in the critical scoring area and outside the 12-meter now.
Yeah, Coleman with it. Let's see if he tries to get it to the middle, find a teammate for a quick one. But all sorts of contact. And from behind, Dylan O'Rourke with the contact, with the strip, and the Royals are out and running.
Boy, how about that stick check by O'Rourke, though?
And right back, they give it right back.
Each team now with 4 turnovers.
And who else than Spakowski?
And that's going to be another turnover there by the Rams.
Yeah,
quickly.
You see the physical nature of this one here early.
Ooh.
A lot of turnovers. That one was close.
That one off the pipe as Max Kemp trying to get on the board.
It'll be interesting to see how HSC manages this final 1 minute that we have here. Do you want to stay aggressive, stay hot, stay in pursuit, or maybe slow it up a little bit and steal a possession away from the Rams and possibly go into the end of the first quarter with your first lead?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ahead and be deliberate here as they'll take it outside that 12 meters. We've gotten down under 45 seconds in this opening period. Each team back and forth scoring in this opening quarter.
We'll see if they elect with Barry here to go back up top and kind of slow things up. They will. They've killed off about 45 seconds so far on this possession and just 25 seconds left here in the first.
Yeah, when do they wait to make the move? And there's another deflection.
And you got 18 seconds.
That was Oliver Marks, who, by the way, got a stick on it.
Let's see what they try to do here. 10 seconds left. You don't want to turn it over.
Ooh.
They do. And an opportunity there goes for naught. They could have scooped and scored. We're going to have maybe a little Hail Mary attempt right here. And he can't get anything off.
Can't do it. Time runs out in the opening period off the 6th turnover by the Rams. We head to period 2. We're tied at 3.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience. We've got incredible specials, great service. Everything that we do here is made from scratch. We hand-cut all our steaks in-house. Bring your family. Come have some great food.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Tied at 3 back here at HSC, and right now we've got a good one going between these two teams. Want to remind you that today's game brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper have been the trusted allies for all your inventory management, warehouse fulfillment, and transportation needs. Give them a call, 317-396-1023. You know, Tony, you look at the turnovers at 6-4 right now. Again, those numbers unofficial, but when you look at how physical, and we knew this was going to be a physical matchup coming in, you can understand why you've seen the turnovers already.
Yeah, when you have the physicality, as both these two coaches talked about being a key here this afternoon, and we saw it there in the first, it's going to make you more deceptive to turning over the ball. I thought HSC has done a great job of matching everything the Rams have thrown their way, whether it's physicality, speed, scoring. They've been able to do that. I thought the Rams kind of were in control for about 75% of that first quarter. But, I think you take that if you're HSC being tied at 3, knowing that you were probably slightly outplayed there in the first. You want to be able to take advantage of the Rams' turnovers. We saw there late in that quarter a bit of a sporadic final minute. You had a chance to scoop and maybe find one, but you lost it. So, again, talked about how important it is here in the middle of the field, 40-40, because you turn it over in there and the other team's off and running. So I've been impressed by the way that HSC has been able to respond. But it starts right here, Troy. It starts right here on the face-off zone, and the Rams definitely had the advantage in that first when it comes to face-offs.
By the way, Coach Andy Kay really had a lengthy discussion with one of the officials. Even Coach Beasley from HSC had come over to join into the discussion, as that will go against the Rams. It'll be HSC as we switch sides in the second quarter. I'm kind of curious what that discussion might have been about.
Yeah, there was some physicality, but I thought, the officials here in that first especially done a great job. They called a couple things, but done a great job of letting them play through, through the contact. And so far, I mean, it's all even.
By the way, that was a turnover as HSC stepped out of bounds. You had that double team here on the near sideline, and they got very physical.
Yeah. Talk about in basketball, right? When you trap, you have a double team, you want to use that out-of-bounds line as a third defender. That's certainly what the Rams did right there.
Rams just gave it right back. So that's 7 now on the Rams. If you want to go use their abbreviation MICDS. Can you do that really quick?
MICDS.
Yeah.
MICKE. No, not that one. Okay.
That ball's going to be tipped away, intended there for David Gold as it squirts all the way near the sideline, but they'll keep it.
Yeah, Gold 2 of 5 shooting there in that first quarter. Just missed 2 of those just off the post when he got inside.
So now Hamilton Southeastern will settle here.
I like the patience.
One-handed, Gold with the right hand.
Yep. Gold goes in, gets the angle, uses the turf, skips it in, and the first lead of the afternoon. HSC strikes first here into the second. They lead at 4-3. That's Gold's third. And you see here just a little bit of a hesitation, gets the angle, skips it in.
Well, I'll tell you what, the first time today we have seen now one team score 2 in a row. We've gone back and forth all afternoon, but now HSC leads at 4-3. You rarely see, though, a one-handed shot like that.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the angle there, though, that's really when you're fighting through that contact. Sometimes that's the only angle you have, and great job there by Gold getting his third goal.
Face-offs 1 now, even at 4 apiece. As you see a line change here, both teams bringing in subs. Looks like we're flagged down.
Yeah, delayed flag here.
That is Jenkins in a quick shot. Another one off the pipe just to the right, though, of Tommy Cook.
Yeah, that one hits the post. But the delayed penalty. Swan almost had that just inches off. That's the second or third shot we've seen here, Troy, from HSE. That's one off the post.
Penalty will be called against the Rams, as they will be player down now. And they'll have to go zone here as we come up on 10 minutes. This is a great opportunity here for HSC to try to get another quick one and lead at 5-3. The pass to the inside intended there for O'Rourke, and then the score.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of an overplay there on the pass, and into the waiting hands of Kyle Jenkins on the overthrow on the pass. Jenkins, right place, right time. You see a little bit of an overthrow here. Jenkins, and you see a lot of the defenders there for the Rams when that pass was kind of overthrown, looking one way. Next thing you know, it's over your shoulder in. 2 straight here for the Royals. They go up 5-3. So we talk about momentum, and we've towards the end of that first quarter when they kind of slowed things down after getting that goal for that final minute, they're back on top and now back on the pursuit.
Yeah, the 5th face-off one, as that one is a little bit out of the reach there of Max Kemp. Turnover by HSC. That's number 6.
And almost turned right back over here, and it is.
Yep, picked up there by O'Rourke.
Yeah, so a little bit lazy there by the Rams, and Peterson, he turns it over.
By the way, that goal was scored within 44 seconds. Jenkins, 44 seconds after Gold had scored his, so that's the kind of quick scoring we have seen this year out of the Royals.
Yeah, and I think the pace of play here for HSE, they know when to go fast, especially as we just saw that with being up on the one-man advantage here. I like the patience here, though, that they've shown on that Gold's goal. They showed plenty of patience as well.
Boy, Jenkins got drilled after the stick check.
Yeah, and I think he kind of – Peterson runs him over and kind of shows him up a little bit.
He got triple-teamed on that one, too, by the way. They made sure Jenkins wasn't going to score. Penalty went against the Rams, so it's going to stay here with HSC as we are under 9 minutes in period number 2. Cuxhausen getting some early playing time here in the first half. And they'll work it back out. Again, this is the kind of offense where they kind of lull you to sleep a little bit, false sense of security, and make sure that you don't keep your head on a swivel. You're going to be in big-time trouble. As David Gold looking for a shot there.
Yeah, Gold wanted it, but a great job there. The double team came. Gold sees it, thinks twice of it, kicks it back out, and they'll reset themselves.
Yeah, they've gone with a long stick defenseman against Gold. They want to make sure that they keep an eye on him.
Having 3 of the first 5 goals on the afternoon will do that.
So as you see, again, nothing there, and HSE able to bring it back, set it out. Cuxhausen fires, and it's going to be a little bit high over the head of Cook. It'll stay here with the Royals.
Yep, so it'll stay with the Royals. Closest player, when it goes out of bounds, maintains the possession. And Gold will have it back of the net, try to reset something up. And we talked about that last minute, Rye, kind of showing some patience here. This has been a very long set offensively.
Low pass, and the ball squirts away there from Max Kemp, but it'll stay here with the Royals again, as deep was David Gold once again.
Yep, Gold is right there for it, and again, a long offensive possession. As you mentioned, kind of, they can go with speed where they score quickly, 2 goals in 44 seconds. And here, it's like they kind of lull you. They're going to wait, then they're going to pounce. So we'll see when they decide to set that up.
Yeah, they dive anybody down the lanes toward the goal. That's one of their big keys. Just depends on who it's going to be. And there is Kemp wide a little bit to the left as Tommy Cook able to play that one low.
Yeah, Kemp had to launch, but his body momentum was taking him one way. Try to throw it across the shoulders there, across the body, threw the timing off and just missed the net.
That would have been a heck of a shot. He was just inside the 12-meter. as we're under the 7-minute mark here in period 2. As the attempt, and that's going to be good. Number 25, Henry Wands.
Yeah, great job there by Wands. Kind of held it high, as we'll see the replay here, and then fires it. And that's what we talked about, right? They lull you to sleep, slow. And then here comes Hans with the speed, keeps it high, gets past this defender. And that is 3 straight goals for HSC. They find themselves with 4 straight goals, for HSC. Yeah, they trailed 3-2. So 6:54 to play. The end of that first, and then now the start halfway through the second quarter. The Royals have certainly dominated. And it really starts up front here. They've been able to control, the face-offs.
Well, and here's the other thing and if you're the Rams, what do you try to do here? You've seen all the momentum swing all the way to HSC, and as another attempted face-off win, and the battle for it picked up by HSC.
Yeah, nice kick there to kind of push yourself forward, lead yourself. And once again, HSC kind of really taking control of this game here midway through the second.
After the face-off, a line change, 3 new players coming in for HSC as they'll set it up once again. That's going to be Turner Berry is back in, along with Max Kemp out front. And we talked about a little bit ago, you really, as a defender against this HSC team, you really have to have your head on a swivel because that thing can come from anywhere.
Yeah, and that's really for both teams, right?
Yeah.
Both teams, as we know, able to kind of step up, kind of, set the pace. And really with HSC, it's, defensively for the Rams, what are we going to see? Are we going to see them go fast tempo and score quickly, which they did on their 4th goal, but then their 5th and 6th goals came slowing it down, staying in the offensive zone, getting into that crease, getting to the front of the net, getting an angle, as we've seen, and then using that turf. Well, be a big turnover here. Skips over Gold's stick.
Boy, that one way over the head.
Yeah, kind of a Hail Mary answered there on the skip. And this is the first time in this entire period, Troy, that we've seen the Rams in their offensive zone.
Yeah, they're just outside the critical scoring area.
They haven't scored since there was 4 minutes to go in that first.
Yeah, 5:33. That was Spikowski, and he's been quiet lately. That is Spikowski right there, and what a save by the keeper. Nice job by Luke Williams.
Yeah, Williams kind of back against the wall, sits down on it. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but a great job there.
So here come the Royals once again. Good look, Dean Taylor. Willie?
Yeah, just take it yourself, brother. Finds a teammate, and now we're going to reset as the stick goes down. We'll have a quick sub, and offensively, once again, HSC going to set themselves up, try to go up by 4 on the scoreboard.
Change here as Austin Mingus coming out of the lineup again for Mary Institute as the Royals have 4.5 minutes now remaining in the first half. They've scored 4 straight as they'll set it up. Again, out front, I want to remind you today's game brought to you in part by Dynamark. If you're looking to elevate your brand, choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, as well as apparel and mailing services. Long shot, and that'll be Jenkins, or is that Kemp? That might have been Kemp.
Yeah. Oh, yep. It came in hot. I don't think he knew where it was until he probably felt that thing bounce off the turf.
David Gold, a low shot. Scamp actually skipping in front of Tommy Cook.
Yep.
I want to remind you again, Dynamark, give them a call, 317-328-2555. Another wide shot.
Yeah, when you talk about time of possession, time spent in your offensive side of the field, certainly HSC has the advantage here. They're doing a great job of once again setting up a patient set here.
Plenty of time as that one over the head of Marcus Lau, and that's rare there. That was really an unforced turnover.
Yeah, I think that was just, oh, crap, I didn't see you move closer to me. I'm going to go over the top on you.
Each team now with 8 turnovers here in the first half.
Yeah, the Rams showing that, they're willing to take the look at these are risky passes.
Oh, my.
Sometimes they work as they did in the last possession. And right there, O'Rourke got up into it, but he goes out of bounds. So it works out there, although it probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I think if you're on the other side for the Rams, you're going, hey, these cross-court, these cross-field 40, 50-yard throws, let's let's chill out on these a little bit, and let's get some accuracy down and try to set up our offense, which is something they haven't been able to do here in the first 8+ minutes of the second period.
Yeah, it's kind of odd they've done that the last couple of possessions, though.
Sometimes the bounce works your way, as it technically kind of has. They haven't been able to find the back of the net via those long passes, but they've certainly have either had them skip in the right direction or go out of bounds off of HSC. So we'll see what they set up here as Bishop has it, and he just gets tripped up by the turf monster, keeps it.
And I think we got a timeout here, and we do. The Rams, we'll talk about it. 2:51 remaining in the second. 6-3 HSE. Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw. Boy, what a stick, huh? Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board. Today's game brought to you in part by Highway Safety Services. You do what you do. We'll keep you safe doing it. Give them a call, 765-446-1502. And I want to remind you that today's broadcast is a copyright production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana Boys Lacrosse Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written permission of IndianaSRN and the Boys Lacrosse Association is prohibited. Quick timeout there by the Rams. I think they know they need something right here to try to make this back to a 2-goal contest and give them a little momentum going into the second half.
Well, they're 14 minutes plus without their last score. And when they led 3-2 there, as you mentioned, I think it was the 5:34 mark of that first. They haven't had too much offensively in their zone in this second period. And that was a little bit of a lackluster trip. Before the timeout, they kind of weren't setting anything up. We saw Bishop kind of go one-on-one and fall, so I like the timeout there. Reset and try to finish this period strong.
Yeah, watching their head coach, Andy Kay, was giving them a what for there for a little bit. They turn it over.
Yeah, turnover, scooped up. HSC with numbers on the run here.
They love it right here if they can score quickly, and they will. David Gold once again. The assist will go to Max Kemp.
I believe that is Gold's third on the afternoon.
It is third, yes.
So his third, yeah, and we talked about the speed that we'll see off of the turnover. Get out, go, lead your teammate. Great extra second pass here, and then Gold gets right in front of the net and pushes it home. So out of the timeout, not only do you turn it over if you're the Rams, you give up numbers and you give up a look right at the net, and that is 5 unanswered for HSC. They have absolutely dominated this second period.
Yeah, you mentioned the lack of scoring, and all the scoring for the Rams is in the opening period, and it was all Spakowski. They just haven't been able to do anything offensively since then.
And credit HSC, they've been able to create turnovers. They've been able to keep the opposition in check here, especially for the Rams and some of their size advantage that they have. And just like you mentioned, with Spakowski scoring those first 3 goals, he's been quiet since. Bishop's had a few turnovers, and that's led to scoring. But again, HSC doing a great job of scoring quickly, but also scoring patiently.
Another save there by the keeper, Luke Williams.
Yeah, great job by Williams. Just gets down on one knee, stays focused on the ball, brings it in with the stick, and that'll lead to a flag here.
Yeah, I got a flag, so that will keep it here with the Rams. Looks like they're going to get number 17, Graham Toner, as he's coming to the sidelines. Or nope, it's going to be actually who's in the penalty?
Fertig.
24. Yeah, it's going to be Dalton Fertig. I did not see the penalty.
Yeah, the Robert Morris commit there. Look, with the minute 23 here, it's exactly what we talked about at the end of that first quarter with HSC. How do you control it? Do you go patient here? Do you stick to your offense? You try to score quickly? And I think if you're the Rams here, down 7-3, you want to try to get the last goal of the period.
Well, it'll be a zone here now by HSC as you look at the Rams and man up here in the last minute remaining in this first half. Quick shot, just wide as, how about a nice hustle there by Luke Williams.
Yeah, Williams gets in, creates the contact, forces Bishop to turn, fire, and fires it wide. So with 58 seconds to go, don't want to turn it over here.
Careful.
Oh, boy.
Really, Williams running for his life.
Yeah, but we got a flag coming, and they overthrow it here. Let's see who scoops it.
You can hear a lot of the fans that are here all the way from the St. Louis area voicing their displeasure.
Yeah, I think the Rams will keep possession here.
I think they actually may have called that on the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like that will be back over. I think Austin Mingus committed it. So HSC, you got 44 seconds. They proved at the end of the first quarter, which is where they took this momentum, and defensively have been able to shut out the Rams for a period plus here. I think, the rule book would tell you, the old coaching handbook would tell you, let's slow it up, get something patient, and not allow the Rams to have this ball offensively for this final 30 seconds of the first half.
And we have seen time and time again where HSC can milk this clock and then get something right at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go here.
And they don't need much more than 20 for sure.
No.
They'll work behind the cage. The nice pass to the inside and the flip by Marcus Lau.
Yeah, Lau, right place, right time, grabs it, snags it, set it up. David Gold with the great assist there, finds his teammate. They put it in with 11 seconds. Still time, but not really enough time to gather at midfield and try something. So great job there using the clock. And HSC's done such a great job of keeping the defense on its toes. They've scored quickly, as you've mentioned. They scored patiently. You really don't know what's coming. And we see there with 11 seconds, they find the back of the net for their sixth straight goal. And they find themselves with an 8-3 advantage, more than likely heading into the locker room here with just 11.2 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, they were down 3-2 when Spakowski got a goal at 5:33 for the Rams. They haven't won a face-off in a while until right there.
Yep, and that'll do it. That's kind of a microcosm right there of that second period for the Rams. Just, ball not bouncing in the right direction. They weren't as physical as what we saw to open this game, and HSC's done a great job of taking advantage, taking that momentum, scoring 6 straight, leading this 8-3. If you would have told me at the start, like, hey, it's going to be 8-3 at halftime, I would have said, what? It's 3-3 here. So great job by the Royals kind of taking over this game in the second period.
And then you look at the way that Luke Williams in goal. Of course, he gave up those 3 to Spakowski, but after that, he's really settled down, had some nice saves.
Yeah, they've really matched the physicality, as we've mentioned. They've been able to kind of throw off the timing of the Rams here, and that was really the difference, I think, in that second period.
By the way, face-offs won. It was 6-5 in favor of HSC in the first half. Turnover-wise, it was a early lead there by HSC, but then the Rams ended up with 9 in the first half, 8 turnovers by HSC. But it has been a clinic put together by the Royals since that 5:33 mark of the opening quarter of play. We'll come back. Second half action is right around the corner. This is Hamilton Southeastern Boys Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
Brian Chrisman joins me today. And Brian, talk a little bit about the winter and Wheeler Mission and how important it is for people to help Wheeler Mission, because winter means homeless and homeless means people in the cold. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have
we really serve a lot of people year-round, no matter what the weather is, right? And so we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people who are experiencing homelessness every single night. But when winter hits, that can become life or death. So if you're stuck out in the cold, happens every year. IMPD will find people out in the cold and encourage them to come in. But if they don't catch them in time, I mean, again, life and death. And so it's vital that our doors are open. And so we do that. Our staff shows up every day to make sure our doors are open. We serve 1,000 meals a day plus every single day. That's a nice, warm, nutritious meal. Donors provide that. Donors provide our food, coffee, something hot to drink. You know, donors provide that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved at Wheeler to make sure we can get through winter, or to work at Wheeler. We need staff, and so we're always looking for staff to get us through the winter time. We spread ourselves thin during winter, making sure that anybody can find space, and so we have bed capacities. For sure, but we go beyond that every winter to make sure that the city has an option for people who are experiencing homelessness in the dead of winter.
Schools out there that are watching this program with our reach, maybe they want to do a sock drive, or they want to do a sweatshirt drive. They can contact our office at IndianaSRN, or they can contact you. Where's a contact, or who would be a contact that maybe we want to do a sock drive? I think that would be a great idea for SRN to start one of those sock drives. How would that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go to wheelermission.org, we have our needs lists that are right there on our website. Those change sometimes in the winter, but there are some needs that are pretty much continual when it comes to hygiene items, when it comes to warm items to get us through the winter. So when you're talking about coats, especially bigger sizes for people that come through, we want to make sure a lot of people that come to our mission, they come with the clothes on their back, right? And so we need to make sure they have something to wear during their stay with us, and which could be for a few weeks, could be for a couple months. And so go to our website, wheelermission.org. You can donate directly there, whether it's a financial donation or you can look at our needs list. You can even find drop-off locations. You can drop it off at some of the barns that we have around the city, or come right down to Wheeler Mission, drop it off right there. But we need this community's support. So greatest thing about Indianapolis is it is a generous community.
Yes.
It is a community that steps up when there's a need. And there's 1,700 homeless individuals in our community. That number has risen 5% just over the last year. Wheeler Mission is the main place for those individuals to go, has been since 1893, over 130 years. And so support that ministry so that those doors can be open, making sure that every man, woman, and child that needs to come inside can come inside and not only get warm, but get nutritious meals, food, shelter, and care. And so beyond that, we take them through a whole journey of program to make sure that they come out our back door different people. But the first things first, right? Get them fed and get them warm and get them safe.
Since it's basketball season and we cover over 300 games a year on IndianaSRN, we challenge our basketball teams and our basketball programs to get involved. There are meals that need to be served. Tell our teams out there how they can help and serve meals.
Yeah, no better way to really open your eyes to the community's needs than to stand in front of people who are desperately in need and hand them a meal, hand them what they're asking for that day. So great group opportunity is to volunteer at Wheeler Mission. You can go to wheelervolunteer.org. You can sign up a group. It can take an hour and a half to come down and serve a lunch. You can get 12, 15 people involved in that, a dinner, come down either at our men's shelter or our women's shelter. It's a really cool experience for teams, not only to help in a way that you're making a difference, but to see the people that you're helping, right? To hand a meal to someone and smile and say hi to someone literally in their darkest moment, right? So
best assist they can ever make.
Oh yeah,
is to serve a meal.
That's a good point. It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk, exactly. For IndianaSRN, this is Keith Myers.
Back here at Hamilton Southeastern, halftime, 8-3 your score. Here's how the scoring went in the first half. The Rams got off to a quick start. Spakowski at 10:05 of that opening quarter made it 1-0. HSE came back in less than 2 minutes as Lau got his first goal of the day at 8:14 of the first. That tied it at 1 apiece. Rams came back. Spikowski, his second goal at 7:36. That made it 2-1 Rams. Then Wands picked up his first goal of the day at 6:45 of the first. That tied it at 2 apiece. Spikowski came back less than a minute later. He scored at 5:33, and that made it a 3-2 score. And then David Gould picked up his first goal of the day at 4:47 of the first. And at the end of one, we were tied at 3. And then HSC, running off 5 straight, they outscored the Rams 5-0 in that second quarter as David Gould picked up his second goal at 10:46. That again at period number 2. Jenkins got his first goal of the day at 10:02. So that was a 44-second stretch between Gould and Jenkins scoring his first. And that made it, again, HSC, third straight goal. They get Henry Wands his second at 6:54 of the second period. David Gould got the hat trick at 2:09 of period number 2. And then it was Marcus Lau picking up his second goal at 11 seconds remaining before halftime. And that is where we stand, 8-3 HSE. We'll come back. The second half is right around the corner here on IndianaSRN.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Vertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as...
Let's talk about second half. If you're the Rams of Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day, you've got to find a way now to creep back in this thing. You're down by 5, and you know as well as I do, HSC is going to keep the foot on the gas pedal here in the second half. So what do the Rams got to do?
Yeah, I think you got to force some turnovers. You've got to get a little misdirection, right? We've seen a couple times HSC has gotten the turnover, got out and ran with it, and that's led to scoring. I think you have to create some turnovers. You were really physical in the first part of that first quarter if you're the Rams, and that got you out to the first 3 goals, and you were leading 3-2, but HSC's continued to answer, and they answered big time there in that second period, keeping the Rams off of the scoreboard. I think you got to be aggressive if you're the Rams. I think you have to say, look, what got us those first 3 goals? And that was being aggressive with some of our big guys up front. Look, we talked about the physicality and the size that this team has. That's guys like, Spikowski, who has all 3 of the goals. Can he step up and make some moves? Other guys like Sokolic, he is a big boy. Peyton Simon, who we saw get a little physical there in a second. I think you got to get more physical, create turnovers, and get out and run with it with numbers.
Weber and O'Leary.
Oof. There's physicality right there.
Oh, gotta love it. And it'll be won by the Rams. So let's see what they'll do on offense to begin this third period. What adjustments will be made by head coach Andy Kay.
It'll be interesting to see how HSC plays this out. Look, you have an 8-3 lead. It's pretty comfortable against a lot of opponents, but here this afternoon against a team that has won state championships in the state of Missouri, no lead is really comfortable, right? So how do you play it? They've had patient sets where they've been able to score, taking a minute 30 off the clock. They've also had quick sets where they've been able to score quickly off of turnovers. So we'll see how they manage offensively, does HSC here in the second half.
Good look at Steele Chrisman. Shot is going to be knocked down. Good job again by Luke Williams.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to Luke Williams. He's had a couple key saves right in front of the net. We saw one on this end, bounce off his stick. We saw one kind of bounce, and he fell on it to stop it, and a great save right there. So Williams really, we talk about how offensively guys like Gold, who has 3 goals and 2 assists here, but Williams defensively as the goalkeeper has done a great job as well of keeping the Rams off the board.
Well, one other thing I would think for the Rams, they got to get Spikowski. In fact, he had those first 3 goals, and he didn't even have a whole lot of shots after that, did he?
Yeah, we really haven't called his name since he hit that 3rd goal. So, the couple opportunities that they did have in their own zone in that second period obviously fell short, but it was kind of a lot of miscommunications and a lot of turnovers.
That's going to go against HSC. That's going to be Graham Faust, who kind of put a little extra check on that stick right there, didn't he? That did not make the fans, who again made that trip from St. Louis, very happy.
Yeah, that's I think that one was for sure on the Rams. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1 minute penalty. So now you're man up right here for HSC.
Man up, so you got to take advantage, right? You've got to get your best guys out there. Maybe find Gold a little bit of an angle.
By the way, it was Will Frank, one of the defensemen over there, getting an explanation from the official, too. So
yeah,
it never changes their mind, though, does it?
No. Yeah. But also a great learning opportunity. Hey, what did I do? What did you see? Because you're being maybe officiated a little bit different than maybe what you're used to in Missouri, and things are, the pace of play and the physicality. Some refs let it go. Some refs, when they see it, they call it immediately. So, hey, what did I do so I can make sure for the remainder of the 22 minutes in this contest that I'm not doing that again?
That last shot there by Max Kemp. One thing that this team, too, has done a great job of, if Kemp is not on target, or David Gold is not on target, they have other players. That was going to be knocked away. They have so many other guys can step up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some physicality there, right there. And that's going to go back over to the Rams there. So there's that physical nature of the beast. And let's see if they can try to do something with it here.
Yeah, one thing about it, too, they can't take a whole lot of time each and every possession.
Whoops.
There goes the head of his stick.
And that thing's going to end up in the parking lot. So we talked about a couple times turnover-wise for the Rams in that first, just almost Hail Mary type passes. I don't know any other way to describe it. They're trying to throw it 50, 60 yards downfield, and a couple bounces have gone their way, but that one does not go their way. And I think that was probably a point of emphasis at halftime. Like, look, hey, we've got to get more accuracy on our passes. We can't be throwing it 40, 50 yards upfield trying to get something. Let's just run with it and try to get something.
That was Ben Peterson who lost the netting on his stick. That's the first time I've seen that.
First time for everything.
There is. So it will go back over to HSC. Even strength now after that 1 minute penalty against the Rams. And again, here's the situation, too, with HSC. They can, again, run a lot of clock right here and still get a good shot. Oh, boy, that one bouncing right in front of Cook, and it bounces high in the air.
Yeah, I think it went off of his chest, if not mistaken, there, and bounces in the air.
Well, that one just inside the 12-meter, too. As you look at this HSC team, they're very good in that critical scoring area. Good look deep here as Jenkins against the long stick defender. That is Oliver Marks. Again, behind the cage, work it near side. David Gold fakes it, drives, and did he get it in? No, he did not. It went a little bit wide to the left. Might have been ricocheted by Tommy Cook.
Yeah, Gold's had that angle multiple times, and we could easily, a foot, an inch here or there, could be talking about a 5-6 goal game for Gold here with still 8 minutes to play in the third.
One thing that Gold does very good as well is he's able to dodge his defenders as good as anybody, but going down, turnover number 10 now.
Yeah, and running with it, right? We talked about getting physical and getting some turnovers, getting out and running with it. Let's see if the Rams can take advantage here. Great pass.
And too close. Inside the 8-meter and the score. That'll be Steele Chrisman. And finally, the Rams on the board here after 6 straight put together by HSC.
And we talked about one of the big-time changes and adjustments that the Rams are going to have to make to get back into this one. It was forcing turnovers and getting out and running. They ran it there. They had numbers. Great extra pass finds the back of the net for the first time since the 5:34 mark of that first period.
Wow. And that, by the way, was a turnover that led to the score, so we've seen that quite often. Face-off won there by the Rams. Boy, we see that so much, and I've always, you know as well as I do, we work together enough that the turnovers drive me nuts.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter on what level or what sport you're playing.
Yeah.
You know, turnovers will drive you nuts, and then turning it over, allowing a goal, and then allowing the opposition and the Rams here to take the face-off. All of a sudden, it's like you're once again stealing possession, and that's what gets teams back into contests. Is turnover, quick score, and then boom, grabbing it at midfield, and now they're able to set up their offense for a look here.
Here's Austin Mingus. Rams down by 4. Mingus a little bit wide. Good reaction that time by Luke Williams. It'll stay with the Rams.
Throws it wide here, but again, the Rams right back on it. They're going to show some speed.
To the inside, ball comes loose, though he was in the crease.
He was, yeah. He got a little bit too deep. May have been pushed into the crease there. I think that's what he was talking about. But HSE gets away with one there. And, again, turnovers lead to opposition opportunities.
Today's game brought to you in part by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the field and the court. Do your part and practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we don't play.
Yeah, and you look at what HSE's been able to do. It's easy to just say they've grabbed momentum, right, and the way they've been able to do it. But don't get comfortable with the lead you have, right? Yeah. Obviously, it took a while to, I guess, wake up. Maybe the best way to say it there in the first, and then they really woke up. Now you got to stay aggressive, right? You've got to get Gold involved, go towards the crease, get to the middle as they just tried to do right there, and look for opportunities. And again, there we talked about matching physicality. There's a nice bump out of the way for Max Law, and then they quickly turn it back over.
By the way, that was a behind-the-back pass over the head that you saw by Max Kemp. Young man can pass with the best of them. We've seen him do that more than once. 11 turnovers by each team as we're coming up on the 5-minute mark here in the third.
Yeah, and we thought this was going to be in the first period a scoreboard lighter, right? Yeah. We thought we were going to see the scoreboard get lit up, and both teams pushing to 15. Defensively, HSE has done a great job of adjusting, and Williams too. Your last chance effort there. Your goaltender has done an absolute tremendous job here of keeping the Rams off the scoreboard.
So again, Rams errant pass, and they're going to be able to hold on to it as HSE had everybody inside that 30-yard line. Good look here at Spakowski once again. They work a long stick defender on him, and that is Dalton Fertig.
Yeah, great job by Fertig there of getting physical, giving him a few smacks, and then beating him to the angle and not allowing him to have an angle to shoot for the goal.
Nice save again off the shot by Mingus.
Yeah,
Luke Williams.
Williams with the snag. Look what I found. Don't turn it over here and start pushing it back into the other direction. But, yeah, great job by Williams. He's really controlled this game.
Well, that one is a dangerous pass and another turnover.
Yeah, throwing it up in the double teams like that, making a 50-50 ball, you're going to lose that more than 50% of the time. I can guarantee you that, and we got a timeout.
4:06 remaining, third period, 8-4 HSE.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt.
Insulting referees.
Threatening officials.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes.
Violent language in the stands.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot. It's not a game.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Today's game brought to you in part by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Give him a call for coverage at 317-894-7000. Just one goal scored so far here in the third to make it an 8-4 lead for Hamilton Southeastern.
Yeah, and defensively, Williams, your last effort there, Williams has really not only been able to make these stops but maintain this lead and keep the lead at 4 to 5 goals. Obviously, that quick goal there by the Rams in the third period. But again, Williams done a great job defensively. I feel like HSE offensively has kind of been like, okay, we've got a lead. Let's worry about protecting that. I think you need to stay aggressive, get this to a 6-7 goal lead, and then you can kind of start playing the time management game.
Of course, this is a Rams team who just lost to Cathedral a couple of days ago, 9-7. So they're hoping to rebound here today, but again, down by 4, chance to cut it to 3 right here in this possession. Good look here at Mingus on the attack, and
did he get that in?
Did he get it in? I believe he did. It went low on Williams, and they've scored 2 straight.
Yeah, Mingus there gets right to the front of the net and makes it happen. It looks like off the turf. Great job here by Ben at the replay. Yeah, it gets it. Oh, it skips right in front and goes in. So a nice one off the turf there. Williams will be thinking about that one. That's one I bet he says that he should have stopped. But again, 2 goals here, the 2-goal advantage. We're within 3. So I think at halftime when you're down 5, he said, hey, let's get this within 2 to 3 goals by the end of the third period. So far, well on their way there. We're still 3:35 to go. I'd like to see more offensive aggression here by the Royals of HSE.
By the way, Coach Beasley talked about getting those big leads, and then it happens to a lot of teams. You kind of relax a little bit. He wants them to really, again, keep that foot on the gas pedal and put them out of reach for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that neither of these teams have been tested. Obviously 0-2 for the Rams to start the season, but it's playing in a close game, right? How do you make adjustments while playing in a close game when some of your games are 15-2, 19-2?
Oh man, that one ripped again by Max Kemp.
Yeah, and a fight for it here. Great job defensively by the Rams, and now they're off and running.
So now we'll head the other way.
Turnover.
Until that turnover.
Yeah, that's that will not get you back into games.
Number 12 now, and officially for the Rams. We're coming up on the 2-minute mark now here in the third. You see the Royals slowing it down. They have not been able to score here in the third yet.
Got a crosswind breeze here, too. Won't affect many of the shots, but those long-term passes that we've seen kind of go errant, mostly from the Rams. We've seen a couple from HSC. Those might be a little bit more difficult here as this second half goes later on in the afternoon. Just higher than that there for Max Kemp.
Kemp tried to take the head off of Tommy Cook with that shot.
Sometimes you just aim for the mask and let it fall where it falls.
Here's David Gold. That one bouncing a little bit wide right.
Yeah, had the angle. I think Gold forced that a little bit. Tried to get the skip and try to get one to go in, but a little bit errant there. I think maybe a more patient look. I think Gold could have found himself with a better opportunity. But once again, now on the run, here comes the Rams.
Yeah, he looked like he may have hurt himself a little bit too, like a groin injury right there.
Looks like he's under some pain as he tries to limp it off here on the 45-yard line. But the Rams, they've showed urgency here in the third, and now with a minute 30 to go, as we mentioned, how do you finish this quarter, right? You have an opportunity here to cut the possession down and get the final goal of the third, and we've seen how crucial that has been for HSC to finish the first 2 periods as far as keeping the lead and maintaining that momentum.
This is big both ways, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a possession here with a minute 5 to go that might be something that we go back and look to as a huge possession either way, whether defensively for HSC or offensively for the Rams.
Well, they're going to work again behind the cage. We're under a minute remaining. Nice turn and the shot, and Williams the save again. Chrisman had a good look.
Yeah, great job by Williams there into the glove and then off and running. Gets, kind of like that outlet pass in basketball, right? Get out and run and get that first pass. And it leads to a golden opportunity here for HSC. And so a flurry back and forth in this final minute.
Marcus Lau the save by Cook. Rams back the other way. They're under 30. They'll have to work quick.
Great save there by Williams, and then the quick outlet to get the Royals out and running. But again, here I think if you're the Rams, you're content with saying, "Look, we're gonna take the final 10 seconds off this clock. Hopefully, find the back of the net. If not, we're not going to allow HSC to run back down the field."
Luke Coleman, and it's going to go against the Rams.
So opportunity here with 3. And they throw it away.
They turn it over right there with .9.
Yeah, not the best quarter, I think, if you're HSC that you wanted there. You wanted to continue to build on that lead. You've allowed the Rams to really be within striking distance here in the fourth period. So defense is going to be a major key for the final 12 minutes.
And they will step back, run the clock out. We'll head to period number 4. It's HSC 8 and the Rams out of St. Louis 5.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
High school lacrosse on IndianaSRN, brought to you in part by Aspen Creek Grill. If you're looking for amazing fresh food and servers that genuinely care about the service, make sure you go to Aspen Creek Grill. For more information, call 866-885-3249. Also, make sure you go to the IndianaSRN.org website. Check out all the upcoming games we'll have. Of course, spring break coming up for the Royals. They'll be off for a while. And then, of course, once we get back into action, spring break will end, and then we'll have a flurry going on from about the second week of April clear through the month of May.
Yeah, we'll see HSC here quickly after winning the face-off. You definitely want to finish out this quarter. You don't want to go into spring break and have a week or so off.
Oh,
top shelf.
Max Kemp
takes the contact.
Wow. I think he has something against Tommy Cook because he was going right for his head again.
Yeah, that was an angry shot. That was a statement there, and goes top shelf, takes the contact, puts it in. But yeah, as I was just mentioning, you don't want to go into spring break, with a loss in as your last contest out. And this is a great HSC program that's going to have a fun charity game coming up next Wednesday. The girls team will scrimmage the guys team. They'll change sticks for a great cause. So looking forward to that one. You can find out more information on the HSC athletic page. But yeah, nice job there of winning the face-off, showing your speed, and then an absolute violent strike to go up 9-4 and score your first goal of this second half.
And then Ben Peterson greeted him on the way down too, didn't he? Ben's a big fella. Kemp took the shot, able to get back up. Now a 9-5 lead. By the way, the last contest that the Rams played, they lost 9-7 to Cathedral.
Mm-hmm. Kind of right in that same zone right here, right?
Yeah.
If you have if you have a fourth period like you had in the third, you're looking right around that same score.
Another shot by Kemp wide to the right. He took another hit there by Peterson. Peterson going to make sure that he knows Max Kemp very well.
There's going to be some ice baths after this one. We've seen a few take shots off the back, and it looks like, yeah, we had a little hesitation there, a little kick. So the Rams have it, and they're off and running here.
You know, HSE went 13 minutes without scoring. They scored at 11 seconds at the end of the first half. They went the entire period without scoring, and it took them again. You don't see them go that long without scoring.
Yeah, we have a flag here, but yeah, both teams kind of having periods of scoring quickly in this contest, and then we've also had both teams going on multiple double-digit minute scoring droughts. So, 9-5 here, 10:34 to go. We talked about the momentum that HSE had going into halftime and being able to go in that locker room saying, okay, we've been able to enforce our will. But here in this second half, the Rams, and this one deflected on the shot attempt.
Rams will keep it. And, of course, right now, Rams man up here in this opportunity. So you'll see HSE in the zone.
Yeah, I think if you're MICDS, you want to get a good look here. You want to stay patient. You're not quite in a hurry, but get a good look. They do there, and it's deflected away out of bounds.
Spakowski.
Wow, and it's going to stay here with MICDS. So the Rams maintain possession.
Oh, that's a tough call right there. By the way, the injured player was Henry Wands for HSE.
He's been a big part of their offense here this afternoon.
Yeah, he was pointing to his right leg when he went to the sideline, so hopefully he's okay. Low shot, and the score by Mingus.
Yeah, Mingus with the spin move, skips it off the turf, finds the back of that net. And all of a sudden, Troy, we have ourselves an old-fashioned lacrosse contest. They cut it to 3, 9:49 to go.
Mingus getting his second in the second half. Boy, you don't want to lose Henry Wands. He'd had to go to the penalty box, you may say, and it was a man up there for the Rams. But
it's starting to sprinkle here. We're expecting rain over the next hour, a 100% chance of rain here. So, will that wreak any havoc? Does that ball skip differently off the turf if it's got a little dampness to it, a little moisture, Troy?
We've been here before where we've had some thunderstorms, ended up canceling one of our earlier games. So hopefully we'll get this in.
Let's get this bad boy in for the final 9:30.
And we're expecting some severe weather tomorrow. The good news is we won't have to be here tomorrow, so just get her in. Of course, it'd be an official contest now once you blow the whistle in the third quarter. Good look here at Max Kemp. Stick check. He loses his stick.
Yeah, we talk about the physicality of this MICDS team, and we have certainly seen it out of guys like Will Frank, but they turn it right back over and on the run. Huge opportunity here for the Royals.
Dylan O'Rourke, the shot,
and
the score. It'll be
5-hole.
Marcus Lau.
So great hesitation there to find Lau. Lau with the hezzy on the throw, and I believe it skips to the 5-hole. But again, the turnover here, getting out and running. Great job there by Chuck with the camera work. Great turnover by O'Rourke. Waits, and then a little hesitation right here. And that goes right through the 5-hole.
Well, and Elliot Bauer, the defenseman there for the Rams, you need to get back down there because you basically left Cook all by himself.
Yeah, and every goal now that HSE scores, the hole that the Rams of MICDS is going to have to dig out gets deeper and deeper. And then you see right here, this has been key. This is what made HSE successful in that first half, was winning the faceoffs at midfield and then been able to set up their offense from there.
Yeah, Tony, they lead in that category 11-7 now.
Yeah, when you and I talked about at the beginning of the game how big of a key that was going to be, and leading your teammate. It's leading your teammate off of that, leading this contest, leading your teammate to the right spot, making that extra pass, and finding the back of the net, within 3 to 5 feet, and HSE's done a great job of that so far.
By the way, umbrellas are coming out. Wind picking up a little bit as well.
A little trip play there, and I think it was unintentional But when Wands went down, he was back in the game and will now check back out. It was kind of like the old the table falling behind him, and it was just a chain reaction there.
Today's game brought to you in part by Wheeler Mission. For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. If you'd like more information, give them a call, 317-686-6239.
Yeah, it looks like the Rams are content with just taking their time here. They haven't really showed too much speed as they go a quick substitution here.
Well, the thing is, back to how many possessions do you have left, though, if you're taking your time, which I understand. But
exactly, with 7:30 or 7:25 now to go in this fourth quarter, this fourth period. You want to be able to pick and choose, but you need to be quick to get it down to the 20 and then set something up here as that one goes wide left. Williams will chase after it.
Spikowski moving to his right. Shot a little bit wide left. Whistles stopping action here. And it looks like, again, Rams able to keep it here as Steele Chrisman will put it in play. And we are now at 7 minutes remaining.
Well, I was totally off in that first period when I say we're well on our way to 15 goals apiece. We're only at 16 total.
You were on that pace, though.
Yeah. Great job defensively, both teams.
That's a bouncer that'll go wide. Mingus trying to get his third of the second half.
Yeah, Mingus goes just wide there. That's the look that they want, though, right? They want him on the move towards the goal and maybe being able to use that hop to find the back of the net as he'll reset it up here as we approach the halfway mark of this fourth quarter.
So now Rams will work it again behind the cage. That is O'Rourke, who picked up that big turnover that led to the goal by Marcus Lau moments ago to give HSE a little breathing room. Spikowski trying to find some room himself.
Yeah,
good
defense.
defense.
Lost it again.
That's pretty good defense there by Dalton Furtick.
Yeah, Furtick, who's been great defensively here this afternoon, forcing the almost turnover there.
Well, that's going to be ricocheted away off the shot. And HSC trying to come up with it, but you have about 4 maroon jerseys all over the place. There's a lot of contact there, too.
Well, now it's a time game. Now you're under 6 minutes. For HSC, you're going to be probably playing a lot of defense in this final 6 minutes. We'll see. You're going to have to see the Rams step up the aggressiveness here. They've had possession here for over 1:30 and only one shot attempt towards the goal.
That's going to be a 12-meter shot. That is over the head as Coleman tried to get it past Luke Williams on a high shot.
Yeah, just not the high percentage look you're probably looking for to get back into this one. You want to get an extra pass, somebody going downhill towards the net, as you see right here. But shooting it from 12, 14 meters out is not going to get you back into that. As you see right there,
Yep.
Williams too good in the goal. Williams too good in the goal. We see it from 12 meters back-to-back shots there. Williams deflects that one out of the way. Now the Rams do maintain possession here. I think you got to get a little bit closer to get a better look. Use some hesitation, use some spin. But again, HSC's going, all right, you're not scoring, and that clock keeps ticking.
That is Chrisman. And the way you see HSC playing everything in the inside, they don't want to get beat by anybody.
Yeah, and you don't want to get beat behind you on an angle or on a spin move right here, as we just see. And that one goes off the back of the HSC defender. Ball loose, scooped up, and the Royals have it. So a great job there. Taylor Willie. It went off of his back. He turns around. There it is, and let's go with it.
Yeah, that was a nice shot as well. Whistle and
a little bit of a contact in the back there, I believe is the call. So HSC will maintain possession here. Now I think you want to really slow it down here. I think if you can get a goal, obviously that's huge. But getting this under 4 minutes before the Rams see it offensively will also be a key.
Yeah, as we talked about before, you have a lead like this, you don't have to score again.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is they got to find a way to get it back from you.
Well, you play the percentages, right? They've got 6 goals on the afternoon, and you got 4 minutes left. Are they going to score? Are they going to score a goal a minute here to just tie this one up? So if you have an opportunity here, I think if you're the Royals, you take it if it's a high percentage look. If not, you're content with kind of kicking it back out, resetting, and allowing that clock to now tick well under 4 minutes.
Yeah, by the way, HSE 14 turnovers at this stage. Don't want to turn it over again the rest of the way.
Yeah, especially and you don't want to turn it over like that where it goes over your head and the Rams can scoop and take it on the run. I mean, you've got 3:35 to go here in the fourth. You want to maintain possession as long as you can here.
Yeah, 3:30. This is going to be a tall order now for the Rams in this one.
And I think for the Rams, you're going to go back to St. Louis. Yeah, you're going to be 0-3. We played some of the best competition to go 0-2 on the road in Indiana that Indiana has, and that's really going to help us late, and that's really going to help us, where do we stand? Where are we physically? How can we get better? And I think if you're HSC, you're looking at this one going, look, we forced them into some mistakes, as we saw right there. We forced them into being uncomfortable. They came out firing. They came out, but we had an answer every time they threw something at us. And Williams has been great. Goalkeeping, Gold, obviously, a couple goals here. The hat trick, couple assists as well, has been great. But this has been a total team effort for HSC. And now with 2:45 to go on the clock, it's just got to play. Can you play keep away for a while? And if you're the Rams, you're going, we're down 4. We need to push defensively and get physical.
Today's game brought to you in part by Highway Safety Services. You do what you do. We'll keep you safe doing it. Give them a call, 765-446-1502. And the score by Jenkins. And that may put an end to this one at 2:32.
Yeah, nice goal there, and kind of the one that slams that door shut. The door is open a little bit, but certainly been slammed shut with 2:32 to go in this one.
So Jenkins with his second goal of the day comes at 2:32. And may be the insurance goal they needed right there. That was a great move again by Jenkins as he stepped back to the inside. Don't forget, after the game today, we'll have the Morales Group post-game show. Tony will be naming the Piper Logistics Player of the Game. Guess you got a couple of choices to think about, including the keeper, Luke Williams.
Yeah, Williams certainly in the clubhouse right now as maybe the top dog, as we've got ball loose here behind the net, but just 2:12 to go. Insurmountable odds here to come back.
By the way, unofficially 16 turnovers by HSC. That's a number that I'm sure Coach Beasley will say we got to work on when we get rolling again after spring break. A couple of changes here for the Rams as they're down to the last 142. And
yeah, I think they're kind of content to say, all right, let's see what we can learn over this final 2 minutes. Maybe we act like the scoreboard is tied up and what we can do to get a goal. But down 5, there really isn't much of a sense of urgency here. Try to get it to the net right there, but just a little bit too in too deep on the angle.
Got a flag down off the shot. This may go against the Royals. That's it. That one was checked that time. Good job by Dalton Furtick.
Yeah, Furtick there with the deflection, and then Williams scoops it up as the goalkeeper. So what an afternoon by the goalkeeper here for HSC, Luke Williams.
Especially after 3 goals in that opening period of play. Williams very good in that second quarter, but has been solid all day long. By the way, Dylan O'Rourke is out, so it'll be man up now for the Rams. Fans now starting to head to the exits as they smell an HSE win. Back over again to the Royals, and you know they'll run it out right here. Vince Putnam in the lineup, just a sophomore, getting some playing time. You know, one thing that Coach Beasley talked about is we've got a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well, 11-6 with 51.4 remaining.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
Back here as, again, the rain starting to fall here at HSC. They're about to go to 8-0 on the season. Stay tuned. The Morales Group postgame show, Piper Logistics Player of the Game, coming up when we're done here today.
Yeah, quick timeout. You know, sometimes you take those to say, hey, let's not worry about the scoreboard, how much time's left, how big of a lead that we have. Let's get some of these other subs in here possibly, and let's go after, maybe go get another one. Let's double them up. Let's try to go 12-6 here, which is 32 seconds to go on the clock.
Henry Wands just took one right there to the throat, but he just keeps on running.
Yeah, it looks like Wands is content to get some cardio in here and just go ahead and run this one out as he skips it across to O'Grady.
You know, I was mentioning a little bit ago before the break, Coach Beasley talking about getting different lineups in at various stages of the game. Just chance to get some of these players some experience, which he's done a very good job of, and that's why you see maybe some of the games aren't quite as lopsided as they normally would be.
And that will do it.
So HSE, big win today over the 2A state champions out of the state of Missouri, MICDS, the Rams. Your final score, 11-6. We'll come back. The Morales Group postgame show coming up next on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. The guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Today's postgame show brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Whether you're looking to start a new career or grow your team with exceptional talent, the Morales Group is here to help you succeed. And Tony, big win, now 8-0 on the season, got off to a slow start, but bottom line is they come back and pick up a nice win here today.
Yeah, that's really what you needed, right? You didn't want to go into spring break taking your first L. A great opportunity here to get that W, both defensively and offensively. I thought complemented each other. They had the Rams had the size advantage here this afternoon, but the speed, the turnovers, and the faceoffs won for HSC ended up with the difference. And I think we're going to go with our buddy here, Luke Williams, in goal. Had some great saves, some great deflections, and to hold a high-powered offense like the Rams to just 6 goals. I thought that was a huge key to the 5-goal win here this afternoon for the Royals of HSC.
Yeah, so Luke Williams, the Piper Logistics Player of the Game, from warehousing to transportation. Piper Logistics delivers solutions that keep you on the move with efficiency and reliability. Piper Logistics gets the job done. I want to thank Chuck, our cameraman, as well as Ben, the producer here today. For Tony Donahue, I'm Troy Narogowski. Thanks for being with us. This has been HSC Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.